Right, so I've made a few movements along the right hand side here in the field, just up against the jungle path. So I did have a 10x formium that's going to develop into a big one. I have the purpurea over here, and this one here can't remember the name offhand. I did have two of them along here. One of them died. Well, one of them wasn't doing well, so I just chopped it right back, and I've moved it. This one here was out here, and I've moved it now into the space because I've made a few movements inside in here. So what was in here, if I can remember rightly, was an Acuba homiensis. I have three. I've one up the patio area, I've one over here on the left hand side as you come out of the tunnel, and this one here. I haven't done anything with it at all. There's like the Acubas are super hardy. Lovely leaves. Look at me, I'll be looking to take cuttings off this or any of the other ones in a year or two. So I had Miscanthus giganteus along this line here, and I've taken them out, and I've have to chop them back anyway. I've put some of them back in at the back here. So everything is much linear, it's much tidier than the stuff encroaching into the field side. The other one out now is this pine here. It's the Halpensis. Still alive. That's my plum tree. This is the Stanley plum tree. It's self-fertile. So it should, a couple of years, start fruiting itself. We're just going to get this very sunny spot here, and I hope to add more fruit trees here. I won't do it now. I might try and look for a different spot for this pine tree. It just doesn't, it's not, I don't think it's the right spot for it. So the foliage and the size of this homiensis should fill up this area here in a few years. Oh yeah, this is one of the Paulonia that was at the side. I brought that in as well, keeping it in line with everything else. I haven't cut these ones back. So Paulonia will come in down straight across either side here. Right, so as I was starting to work and plant up and clear the wood here, long time ago, I'd say 20 years ago, with this is the old chicken pen, and at the end of the chicken pen here I planted, from what I can remember, it's a rambling rose, and they can get huge. I'm not too sure, could have been, what was it, Kifskate, Seagull, I'm not too sure. I bought a few of them a long time ago, and just with some of the mature trees around and all these saplings as they grew up, they just created too much shade. But the idea was that the rambling rose was going to just cover all of this wire here and make it a barrier for dogs, foxes, whatever, to get in. But it never worked out. So I've taken that out, and that's gone up into the front garden. But it's opened up a position here now. So recently I planted up these 3 trunks on this one, Trachycarpus fortunei, just on this little pathway here, and there's 2 trunks on this one. Right, so we have an oak. I think it's grown off of the base of this one. The leaves drip up, but the top of it is dead. So for whatever reason, it's not healthy. And just with the trees that are around it, you can actually have too many trees. If you have too many, a lot of them won't thrive. They won't develop into they won't develop what they should develop into, like a full-grown tree. They'll die off. So there is actually removal of trees and seedlings and saplings that are coming up. So stuff like this, you know, that'll be coming out. There's another one there that's going to come out. This is a sycamore that's going to come out. Because eventually, like when they all grow up, they're all going to impact each other, and they're actually going to start competing for the nutrients and for growth and stuff like that. And it doesn't do any good just to let everything grow, or anything grow. What I've learned about as well with the rhododendrons, especially even mature rhododendrons, is that they don't like dry conditions. They like it damp. This is the Catab grandiflorum, Catabiense, I think it is. And if there's too much competition from like other shrubs and trees, especially trees that are competing for all this moisture around the top, it'll kill the rhododendron. They'll die off. I didn't actually realise how important it was for especially the large leaf varieties. So I have 2 Montrosianums. This is one of them. This basically looked dead and buried, and I cut away pulled away. They actually fell off the leaves, the dead leaves, and just started to soak it during the summer, and it's made a comeback. And we've had some terrific downpours of rain, which will greatly help them. So the two rhododendrons, the Montrosianums, are coming back. So here's another example. I didn't plant this oak here. These birds or animals brought this in. That will have to come out. Probably pot that up actually, because there's just going to be way too much competition from this oak with this Montrosianum rhododendron, and it's going to dry up the ground and it's going to kill them. So if you're planning on putting in the giant leaf or the rhododendrons, make sure there's not too much competition, or they're planted too close to large trees where there's going to be too much competition. So that oak, which is basically dead at the top and it's starting to sprout at the end again, that's coming out. I basically just don't need that here. Right, so this spot looks like an excellent spot for, I think it's Schefflera. The soil is good, it's not too damp, it's not dry, and there's plenty of protection. There's Scots pine in there, got some mature trees coming across here, mature beech, another pine here, there's an oak just past that there, and we got some silver birch. What do you think, Max? Oh boy. Yeah, so this could be a nice spot for a tall tree type Schefflera. I think it would make a nice impact on the pathway here. I was thinking just initially when I was clearing this area out here, maybe another Trachycarpus, but we already have Trachycarpus here and here. That Schefflera filling out this space here. Much better impact on this pathway as you're coming down or going back up. I actually have another Schefflera coming in. I'll be doing a video when that one arrives. And I hope to add Schefflera in here. I think the Taiwaniana would be nice because I have the height here from the, already have a canopy, so maybe the 3 meter height Taiwaniana, they would look really good, I think, in here, planted in groups. Right, so I did have a lot of the broadleaves sycamores. Here's one there, just self-seeding themselves. One here. I might move it back. I think there's actually one in the ditch, or there's a tree in there. It's after defoliating. I might move that into that spot to fill that up. But you can see they're here as well. And they're here pretty much everywhere. I might pot some of them up, but they're just going to compete because there's an oak here, and this oak is just going to keep getting bigger. It's going to draw from all the resources and the moisture and the soil. And I've moved, instead of planting here where that small Schefflera was, Alpina I think it was, I'll be planting it, just moving it up a bit closer, up here. Still plenty of space to go up, and I can also remove some of the smaller limbs here to make the canopy higher above it when it needs it. So here's the Schefflera Rhododendrofolia. Got this lovely, it's starting to spread out. You can see all the new growth that's come on it. But you can see here's another perfect example of a small oak. Lovely little oak. And this oak is, these two are not going to get on together because they're going to be too close to each other. So I'm going to pull that out. And yeah, so these are just some of the trees. There can be too much competition, and you can overplant an area. You can put too many plants into an area as well. So you have to be mindful of your own little patch or whatever, your own garden or your own wood or field or whatever it is that you're planting. Is it really damp? Is it really dry? Is it windswept? You need to look at the microclimate as well. Something else that's spreading itself, which I'm not spreading, is the hazel. When I brought in all the silver birch and the different pines. I brought some of these, it's a cob nut I think it's called, the hazel, and I've coppiced quite a few sticks off the mature ones, the oldest ones, but now it's just, they're just spreading themselves. They are actually, I think they look really good in the mixed with bamboos and the tropical plants, just the bark and the leaves. It's a lovely plant to mix with them. Right, so these are all young trees that were grown, that's self-seeded, and this is like it's a cherry, a wild cherry. And they were all in this area. We can see there's some here and here. Still have their leaves. Got a lot of dead ash. They have to come out. I can't remember if that's dead or not. I'll have to wait till the springtime now. I got some wild cherry. I don't mind them growing up close to the boundary here. They're not going to do any damage. Here's another one here, and I think they've all come from this tree here. Goes up in a single trunk, then divides. A fantastic height, and it's grown really straight, nice column. This stem coming off here, the trunk has been cut here. It's the power lines that are down around this corner. But copsing doesn't do it any harm because it's going to allow more light in. I don't want the wood here completely in shade. Lovely straight trunk. Yeah, so that's after spreading all this area around here. I've left a couple here and some on the sides. I might just take these two out as well and leave the one on the sides. Leave them, the couple on the sides. That one there maybe. Yeah, because it's going to be just too much competition for what I actually want to bring in and kind of implement into the wood here, the kind of that jungle atmosphere. So I've already dug a couple of spots, dug the soil over just to see what it was like with roots. It wasn't actually that bad. Thought it would have been worse. Here's another spot I'm after digging. So I'm after clearing this area here, and I'm hoping to put a rhododendron here and here, and it'll get all this light as well, or any winter light, and should get summer light. I can always trim away any of these Sitka spruce. It's Chuscahea gigantea. This is a bamboo. Not all bamboo is Asian. This is a South American bamboo, and it does turn into a beast, and it's probably going to fill up a lot of this area, or hopefully. Yeah, so there's clearing out the dead wood and the trees that you don't want is important, because like I said a minute ago, too much competition is actually detrimental to the plants that you want to introduce, and the trees that I brought in, like the eucalyptus, bamboos. The giant leaf rhododendron. It's a sign of grande. It looks super healthy. It's doing well. So here's one of the hazels that I brought in, and here's one that's after spreading from it. And you can see when the hazel is shooting up, the leaves are starting to golden off and drop. Some of the branches very gracefully, like a bamboo, they just bend over to the side, but it looks well. Just an arching, has its own, creates its own canopy, and you can actually cut it out for your own walkway. So I could take these out here and create a pathway under this little canopy here. I haven't chopped any of the leaves of the gunnera. They've grown a little bit this season. I think they're probably going to struggle. I don't think they'll ever get out of hand. But I can rig up a water system to have a 24-hour drip on them. But the weather is so mild. I mean, it's t-shirt weather. I haven't chopped. There's no need to chop them back yet. But still paying attention to the weather forecast. So if there's an ice or a freeze coming, I can chop them and turn the leaves over on top of them. That was over there along along that line as well. It's pampas, and it's I don't know what's wrong with it, but it's not doing well. So I've moved it over to here where it's much drier. And see how it gets on over this side. It's got two beautiful different leaf variations here on the Scheffler. This is the Schwelliensis, and this one here is the Fengi or Fengai. And yeah, down at that spot where I was clearing out, and just beside it on the corner there, you can plant those two up. I think they're gonna look really good. It's the Chilense. Beautiful hardy fern. This is the Canary Island day palm. It still looks super healthy. Like, there was massive root system on it, and I just brought it in. It just wasn't doing well. I think Fia was trampling on some of these side branches, so I think it'll have a better chance in the tunnel. Still a lot of healthy green on it. I've cut away all I think there was 3 dead branches on it. That wood looks fantastic now. It was planted in amongst the bamboo, somewhere where the ground is going to stay dry. I've seen them planted out in Ireland, over in Rosslare, down near Rosslare Harbour. There's a garden down there, and there's 2 of them, and they're absolutely huge. Now, whether they're Phoenix, I think they are Phoenix neriensis, but I might actually try it in around the top here. Right, so I just potted that up, that fern, into a much bigger pot there. Got some compost from the pots where the tomatoes were growing during the summer. Give it a leaf mulch. This is Taiwaniana. So what I've done is I've heaped all the leaves that have dropped from the silver birch and the pine along here. Just kind of just swept up all these leaves. Put a real thick layer around it. Haven't packed it in against the trunk though. And the same here with the Mitis Brassiops. Just built up a heavy layer around because it'd be a pity now to lose this. They're both touching about 8 feet now. I think with the weather that we're after getting this month, temperatures are unbelievably high. Then we get massive downpours, intermittent downpours, and the temperatures go back up. They haven't dropped really, and it's still growing. Brassiops hispida. New leaves developing. The same again. Nice heavy mulch of leaves. Pine needles. So I did have a eucalyptus tree in here, and it wasn't doing anything, and it looked like it's starting to die. But I've moved down to the wood, but I think this corner here, this corner in here, possibly up here, I could take out that branch there. Not immediately, but I think this would be a great spot for a Scheffera, a tall variety. So the Scheffera Taiwaniana. Hopefully the plan, the further I push into the wood, is to plant groups of 3 and 4 with just a bit of space between them, maybe in a block, a couple of feet between them. Right, so we'll finish out this video with the way I started it on the rose. So I do have a rambling rose. It's huge, and that goes up into it's going right up the birch now. well over probably 30 feet, but it's spread all across this left hand side here. It hasn't spread to the right. I don't think it's going to has it in it to spread to the right. So the plan was from around this time last year was to get something to plant to the right hand side of the front garden and to feed some of the branches through to the roadside, because the display on both sides, especially on the road and here, is absolutely fantastic.